What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Grind Force Gaming. Nova here with a brand new Street Fighter Duel tier list. And even though we do have some fighters missing from this, I think this list is going to be an amazing comprehensive look at how we feel about these fighters. And I've got DatSkat here with me to talk about this. DatSkat, what's going on?
What's up, fighters? How we all doing?
How do you feel about this list?
Pretty good, man. You know, there are a couple fighters on this list that we were hemming and hawing about where they go. Are they that good? You know, and I can't wait to really get into this.
It's tough to make tier lists. Like, it kind of is in a way because it's hard sometimes to decide who goes where, because sometimes you might think fighters are like, okay, all these fighters right are S, but some of them are better than other ones. So it's like, do they deserve to be an S? Should they be an A? It's tough sometimes to make these, but I think the easiest thing to do with these lists is to put the fighters in the unobtainable area, because that's pretty simple. All the fighters that you see down here, this isn't to say that they're not good. It's just to say that you might not have them and maybe you can't get them.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think it's pretty straightforward here. Some of these are collab fighters. Like, sure, you can get Fashion Sakura. It's $100 though. She's not even that good. Flame Chun-Li, I don't know if she'll come back around again. Nero, I don't know if he'll come back around again. So normally when we do these tier lists, we build them. But I wanted to save you guys some time and just have this accessible here for you. But let's talk about why these fighters are where they are. And
you know, and I think, Nova, a huge part of this is not just looking at the DPS or the ability to throw shields or heal, or
sure,
it's a little bit of everything. It's also about, can I obtain this fighter?
right.
Do I need to invest a lot of gems in pulling for them through divination? Do I need to invest a lot of time, maybe a month and a half, 2 months, to even getting the fighter serviceable in the late game? So a lot of that was figured into this. So if you're
Sure.
sitting at home thinking, well, Vega's way better than B, I would retort with, but you have to pull from divination to get him. And
Yeah.
why not just use C Viper?
Yeah. Vega's an interesting one, and I'm sure having him in B is going to be something that I'll hear about from some people, especially in Discord.
And good, because he is really, really good.
He's good, but yeah, and look, this is the issue. Like, this is honestly, this is the primary issue with tier lists, is that you have like God tier, S plus tier, but then you've got these fighters down here. We're going to be like, oh, they deserve to be up there too. But what you need to ask yourself is, would having that fighter be leveled actually make a difference for you? If you had SSS +5 Vega, do you really think that he would help you? Do you think that swapping him for Guile, swapping him for C Viper is actually going to like help you beat something that you can't currently beat? I don't think so.
I don't think so, man. And, you know, this is not a build your 3 teams tier list, which we do, and I'm very eager to do the next one after this HWA goes through. But, you know, in God tier and S plus there are 3 full teams right there.
Right. Well, and that's the thing too. I'm glad you brought up HWA. I was going to say the same thing. This is a very good time to be building a tier list, because if you're looking at who you're fighting at HWA, you're seeing these God tier fighters, you're seeing these S plus tier fighters, and you're seeing some substitutions from S and A.
Yep.
I can tell you right now, in all of the fights that I've been doing at HWA, I have not seen a single Vega.
I have not seen Vega. I've not seen Mummy Dalsim.
Nope.
I have seen some Akumas. I've not seen Jen. I've not seen, you know, they're just not there in the meta right now.
Right.
And there could be a couple reasons. Like, and we're gonna get to my main man Sagat not being in the God tier. I have some issues here.
Well, that's another use case issue, right?
It is.
Where exactly do you put him?
But the meta always changes, and maybe Vega hasn't gotten his team yet. Maybe they haven't released the fighters that best pair with him just
Right.
yet.
Well,
Maybe Sagat's team has not been released quite yet. Maybe there's another fighter out there that will make Poison jump all the way up to God tier because they work
sure.
off of the silencing.
Sure.
You don't know, and so as of right now, this is how I feel. This list is how I feel about this game,
Yep.
and I feel great about it. Um, and Sagat's one of these heroes that we need to talk about because he's so good, guys.
He's very
He's
good.
he's so incredibly good. Like he doesn't die. He's on the field a lot. He does really well. His skills are good. However, he's a C1, C3 fighter, and when I got him to SSS, I said, "Okay, now what can I do with this?" And I'm still struggling finding the best team to put him on.
Yeah.
I'm having more success putting him as an assist to people like C Viper or
Sure. Or trendy
or
Cammy.
the Trendy Cami or Poison or anybody doing thunder damage, um
Something you said about Sagat earlier, before we started making this video, I think is very true. He would be better if he were C2, C3.
I would oh my god, I think he would be the next tier up from God tier because all of a sudden you can start putting him on teams as a C2 only.
Yep.
He's going to provide beef for you. He's going to allow you to have a C1, which can give you some buffing or healing or shielding or both or whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you still can have the main damage dealer out there.
Right.
I've been running kind of like a um, Sea Viper, Summer Yang, Sagat. I've actually been running Nero out front, or you
Okay.
can run Bison out
Or
front.
Bison. Sure.
But that team's been really good for me, and I use the Sagat C3 and the Viper C2.
Right.
Now I know people who love Viper they're gonna jump all over that. Oh, don't use her C2. That get rid of the stacks and yada yada yada. It seems to do well in arena. Um,
Sure.
that team. But that's the best I've found. Please, guys, please, if you have ideas, I want them in the comments.
Yeah.
I want to
100%.
test these things, and I'm gonna test anything I think of, but I'm not gonna think of what you think of. So let
Yeah.
me know what you think. I want to
And
hear it, and I want it in the comments.
we don't have all these people maxed either. So some of you might have
Right.
certain ones maxed that we don't, and that changes the play of them. But
Yep.
I think what reigns true, honestly, is just the God tier and the S plus. Like these are the fighters that we're seeing.
Yep.
The typical lineup that I'm seeing in the top 50, like the first lineup that I'm fighting, is Bison, Beast Zangief, Sea Viper, and Elena. And if it's not
100%.
Elena, it's Summer Yang. And if it's not Summer Yang, it's Street Poison.
You bet. And the second
So,
team that I'm seeing is the Guile team.
yep, Guile
And the
as
third
well.
team I'm seeing is a Dulcine Fashion Blanca type team.
Yep, which
Um,
still has Bison and BZ in front.
it could,
It could.
but
A
if
lot of times it does.
they're using Bison and BZ in their first team, their third team they're throwing out E Honda or Zangief.
Yep,
Now Nova, I want to bring up something here.
sure.
I I almost want to move Elena down
Okay.
to S plus.
Okay.
Now I might be jumping the gun here because I've been excited about using Summer Yang, but I think Summer Yang is a better C1
Okay. Well,
because I think the heal is substantial enough and the shielding really helps.
okay.
And Elena doesn't get that, and she has a tendency to linger on the field a little bit and
Okay.
get hit.
So this is a
So
good
I
example of having an idea about something like this that can be shared that would change someone's opinion about this, because I don't have Summer Yang at a usable level. So I haven't been able to test that myself.
yeah.
So
Um,
so DatSkat, you having this different opinion on this is what helps, make tier lists better overall.
I
So
agree.
Elena, here's my thought right now. She can go down to S plus, and that's okay. It doesn't really change her functionality in the game whatsoever.
No.
But I don't mind leaving her in God tier because we're moving to a position in the game where you need to have 3 teams for just about everything you're doing.
Yeah.
And as a result, our God tier currently holds 3 great C1 fighters: Street Poison, Summer Yang, and Elena. You've got your C1 support role filled by these 3. So that's kind of why I feel okay leaving her up there. She is still the best healer in the game, but I do agree her super being triggered with her FS30 is almost at a detriment to her.
It really is, because it doesn't do a whole lot.
No.
And it just makes her dance on the field, man. I want her in and out.
Yep. It makes her too vulnerable. Yeah. It's unfortunate. Maybe you can take those away. Can you take away? I don't think you can. I think it's permanent once you do the leveling.
Yes. I remember when I did it, I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then I thought about it and I'm like, I don't know, man. I think that at times she's going to get nuked because of it. And sure enough, that is the case.
You could
but
argue,
Summer Yang doesn't even come onto the field. He like just floats past, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
and
I do like his animation a lot.
And the shielding is so nice. Yeah. And when you get his FS30 and his car's going, boy, he's got more. He's got more to the kit than Elena does. Now, Nova, I did want to talk about Abel a little bit too.
Okay.
You could put him up in the God tier, but with the release of Summer Yang, his shielding without healing just kind of falls a little short. It's really good shielding.
I think it definitely takes him out of the C1 position, because we used to really see him shine in C1 because, well, here's the thing. If you have a built Summer Yang, then you want to use him. But if you don't have a built Summer Yang, then using Abel as the C1, because his shield blocks 2 hits regardless of the damage that's being dealt and regardless of his grade. So at an A grade, as long as his level's high enough, he has a shield that's going to block 2 hits for everyone on the field on his C1, and that is incredible.
In the mid-game.
Especially early in mid-game, correct.
Yep, because there's going to be a C Viper lineup in the campaign that you want that Abel out there for.
Abel has a great fighting spirit, and he also has a very, very good assist skill. So
I use his assist skill all the time.
Yep.
And I'm working on his FS30 right now. I'll report back if I notice any difference. But that might bump him up for me personally.
Okay. It's something to be considered. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him in the God tier.
But I have 3 teams, and he's not going to beat out the first 3 C1s that I have in the God tier. That's the issue.
And if he's not, though, you are going to see him in the assist position.
He is in assist position. He is shielding one of my damage dealers. I think he's shielding. Who is he shielding? It doesn't matter.
Often it's Guile.
I don't have him shielding Guile because I have. Actually, I do. In HWA, I do have him shielding Guile.
Guile's a great choice for the shielding.
If I'm not running a 3-team thing and I'm using either Guile or Sea Viper, I put either Guile or Sea Viper as the assist for the other.
Sure.
I think it's really strong, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about Mayor Cody.
Okay.
Being in the A, because that's one that I don't quite see eye to eye with you on.
It's controversial.
But you had a pretty good justification, and I want to hear more about that.
He has a solid interrupt, albeit I don't know how to use it because I don't have him leveled, but he is very annoying sometimes when you go up against him and he's one of like the AI teams you have to fight, whether it's in tower or the story modes. I find myself getting interrupted by him a lot, and that makes me think it might be nice to have him built. Now, again, this is the same conversation we had before. Is his interrupt better than B. Zangief? No. So some of you might think like, oh, Mayor Cody's S or S plus because of his interrupt. Well, you don't need it though, do you? You don't need it, but it might be nice. I wouldn't mind having that on a second team, especially in HWA. Imagine having 2 teams with really solid interrupt.
Well,
there aren't many fighters that do it. B. Zangief does it. E. Honda does it on his C1, but the frontline person needs to be ideally needs to be dealing it, or the back line needs to jump in front of the tank in order for him to hit them and interrupt. Mayor Cody does it. I don't really know how it works, to be honest with you. Yuri does it on her C1, but Yuri's kind of broken. I don't think that she functions correctly, and she's just really not that good, so you shouldn't build her.
Blanca and Sagat have it as well. They've got
Okay.
stuns in their
Blanca
kit.
does. Yep, Blanca does as well, but Blanca really shines, I think, in the assist position. And unfortunately, his best role might be assisting Nero. But
if Nero's kit works as written,
right?
This is an issue, and anybody who has Nero, like me, y'all pay $50 for him, and I want to see him to shine. I want to know he's working, and it's really tough to see those crit stacks. I wish there was some sort of legend within the game that explained everything.
Yeah, post
when they release
stats, so you could see like buffs that were placed.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Or what I want to know is which symbols above each individual players are connected to which fighter, because they release a new fighter and then there's zero explanation as to what their buff looks like on the field.
Correct. Yeah, there was the poison mechanic in the game this whole time in Shadowloo City, but we never had any literature on what poison even meant until Mummy Dalsim got released like a month ago.
Yeah.
Kind of weird, right?
Well, it's kind of fun to speculate and figure stuff out, and that's why we have this YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? Lots of speculation.
Yeah.
But the rest
speaking of which,
I just want to say,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I just wanted to take a second here for the rest of the A lineup, since we were talking about Mayor Cody. These are really good assist fighters in general. That's kind of why I put them here. You're going to see the most use out of them in the assist. DeCapra you can use in the tag in C1. She works very well, very, very well for that. But she's also very good in assist. These fighters in S, I don't really want to dive too deep in them because I don't want this video to be super long. I mean, we're already approaching the 20-minute mark at this point. So these fighters in S, they're definitely usable. They're definitely usable, especially Rose, Cammy, Trendy Cammy. Zangief is an amazing tank. He pairs very well with Athlete Chun-Li.
Dude, I'm gonna put Zangief in S+. The more I'm building him, the more I absolutely freaking love him. And
actually, his 6 vehicles. I wasn't even thinking about his vehicles when I placed
pretty awesome.
His 6 vehicles, his C2 negates the enemy passive. So he does the same thing as Evil Ryu.
It's a little more conditional.
It's a little bit more conditional. Yes, the timing needs to work out correctly. But if you time things correctly with Zangief, you could eliminate Bison.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. I need to do more testing with that. I haven't used him too much in that regard, even though I did get his 6 out of 6 vehicles.
I know this video is already long, but really quick, Nova, let's touch on Evil Ryu.
Okay.
I'm working on him, but it's a slow grind.
Slow roll. It's a slow
grind. I put him at S+ because mainly availability.
Sure.
But he's doing something that only Zangief regular does with the whole Bison killing ability.
Yep. Yeah, it kind of changes the meta a little bit.
If there was an S++ / I'm just under God tier, I think that's where Evil Ryu would go for me. I think he's sneaky good. Yeah. Really, 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 really good. And he can totally screw up your whole plan if your plan is to have some tanking with Bison. But
there's a team I'm seeing in HWA right now that's Bison, Sagat, Elena, and Evil Ryu.
Oh, and I haven't seen that one.
It's rough. It is.
That's
rough.
Nasty.
And in previous tier lists, we've even taken fighters like Evil Ryu and Akuma, the special summon fighters, and we've put them really, really low because they're so hard to get. But the reality right now is I think the game is kind of evolving in a way that hopefully we're going to see them become a little bit more easy to obtain, but we are seeing their value with Goken's release as well. He's not on this tier list, but Goken is very good.
S plus or
S plus
just below God tier.
And we're fighting them in HWA
me.
now. This is the thing. Previously, when we've allocated these special summon fighters, we weren't coming up against them and fighting against them. But now we're actually seeing people that have them usable at SS or even at SSS. And they are very difficult. That team I mentioned, the Bison, Sagat, Evil Ryu, Elena team, it destroys my Bison, Beast Zangief, Elena, and Sea Viper team. It destroys my team.
Maybe that's my Sagat team.
Hey, you know what? I mean, you should do it. It works.
I'm working on it.
It works. You have Evil Ryu at SS, correct?
Yeah.
You should.
I have him at
I think you should run it.
Plus.
I think you should run it. So what you run? Whose super do you run? You run Bison super or Elena's?
Evil Ryu's.
Okay, so you run Evil Ryu's super, and then
Elena. No, you can't.
No.
You have to do Evil Ryu, Sagat, Elena, Bison.
Yeah, correct.
Or you use Bison C1 and Sagat C3. And then either super off of Sagat or super off of Evil Ryu. So you could do Evil Ryu.
I think I like the Evil Ryu start first.
Why is Elena even out there then?
Just for a C2. Because she gives
there are so many other better C2s.
Yeah, I think it's just for the defense up and the extra speed.
Give me Rose. You know,
yeah,
I think that team could be better.
The debuffing, yeah, that's true. Well,
I
think maybe
put Zangief out there, put Nero out there if you pay for him.
Sure, yeah, that could. Yeah, I think that those would work extremely well. I think we're probably seeing Elena out there just for the defense up and the speed, and also the fact that Elena's a normal faction, whereas like if you want to use Rose, she's another divination pull. So
I'd even put Chun-Li out there or Cammy regular.
Sure. Yeah.
Or Poison for her silent. I put Poison out there 100%. Yeah. Like if I'm not getting healing from Elena, I'm not using Elena. So you know what? I'll try that out. But
you know what would be really good? The other fighter we don't have on here, Diviner Rose. Her C2 would be dispelling the enemy's debuff or the enemy's buffs. Bison, Sagat, Diviner Rose, Evil Ryu. Is that a god tier team right there?
Only time will tell, my friend.
Okay, let's end it on that note. The speculation's getting out of control here. But yeah, guys, here's our tier list for now. Focus on these fighters in the top, and you're gonna do well.
You're gonna do well. You got it.
To it.
You nailed it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching. Definitely stay tuned for more videos. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment as well, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.
Bye, guys.